This time around, I've been in the Ford Ranger WildTrak. This is the SuperCab variant. It's essentially if you're looking for something a bit more practical than a single cab bakkie, and you're also looking for a bit of luxuriousness. This WildTrak answers that question. So of course in this video, I'm going to walk you guys through the exterior looks. I'm going to walk you guys through the interior, as well as how it drives and how it's been like to live with. So let's get into it. So up front, from looks perspective, it's nothing new. We're all used to the all-new Ranger now. I mean, it's been around for a number of years, but just to remind you guys, in case you've forgotten, you get these C-clamp LED headlights, which look really, really cool. Obviously, daytime running lights with really great LED technology. It also has an auto function where at night, if it detects that the road is too dark that you're driving on, then it will switch on the high beams. They are not matrix LEDs, so that is something that I wish it had, but you do get that on some other Ford models. But moving over to here, you get this really prominent grille. I mean, it's quite big, it's bold. You get these two slats that run across the grille like that, and you get this honeycomb effect, which looks really, really quite nice in my opinion. Lower down, you get this contrasting silver bumper, which also looks quite nice and it adds a bit of character. You get some of your parking sensors and you get LED fog lamps lower down. Over to the side, you get these very chunky 18-inch alloy wheels with this off-road terrain tire. I think it looks the part, especially in this specification of the SuperCab. But over to the side, you get black or silver mirror caps, which look quite nice. Over here, you get this cladding over here. On some models, it would say bi-turbo. On the V6 model, it would say V6. So here it's quite blank and I'm not quite sure why. But lower down here, you get some mud flaps because Lebeshu is important. And then you get the side step, which feels quite strong. However, I'm not sure if you're going like bundu bashing or if you're doing like really, really heavy off-roading, if it'll be able to cope. But anyway, you do get that over there. You get keyless entry into the car, which is quite nice. And of course, there is this rear door, which I'll talk a bit more about later. Moving over to the back, we've got this really nice sports bar, which also matches your mirror caps up front. This really nice detailing over here, over on the load bed. And over here, you get a side step for when you want to get over at the back here. That's something that's unique to the Ford Ranger and you don't get on the likes of the Amarok, which this obviously shares a platform with. But moving over here, the rear, and something that I do need to mention is this car is actually quite long, which is quite great because obviously from a Workhorse point of view, you'll be able to load a whole bunch of stuff over there. But obviously, easy lift tailgate, quite nice, and it doesn't have gas struts, which for me is a bit of a letdown, and I wish it did have that. But anyway, the rear is quite practical. You've got these two cup holders over here, which is quite nice. You've got this hook over here for when you want to clamp stuff and do your Munaga Vanna stuff. And then of course here you've got a tonneau cover, which is quite solid. Obviously it goes all the way to the back, and you can obviously lock it as well for security. But over here, you also get a 12-volt socket, which is quite nice. You get this plug here, so that's really quite cool. You can plug your stuff in, and it is also rubberized, which is quite cool. So from a practicality point of view, it definitely gets a thumbs up.
Well, now it does want to close.
Something that I wish it did have was this being motorized. And I mean, I think you do get it on some models, or it is an optional extra, but as you can see, I'm actually struggling to close it. So let me try and figure that out before Ford says I broke their car. Inside, it's a really, really nice place to be in. It's very luxurious. It feels very premium. You're greeted by this leather steering wheel, which feels really nice to the touch. It's obviously got multifunctional buttons over here. So this side is what you would use to control your digital cluster over there. And this side has some of your media as well as your cruise control settings. It's got all of the gizmos that you would possibly want. Nice touches. You've got cup holders over here to the side, air vents over here. You've got a really nice feeling dash. Some of the plastics are worse, but some of them are actually quite nice to feel. Obviously over here you've got your large portrait style infotainment touchscreen. It's got wired and wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and you basically control everything through the screen. It does take some getting used to if you are using it for the first time, but a nice touch is that you've got your climate control settings as shortcuts over here or as physical buttons, so you can control your temperature over here, you can control your volume for your media over here, and you can just switch it off over there. Also got heated seats, I believe, but overall I think the cabin is really quite nice. Over here you've got not one but two what are these boxes? Glove boxes. So over here you've got not one, but two glove boxes, so you can put some stuff in there and you can put some stuff in there. So that's really quite cool. And you've got some storage over here as well, which is also really quite nice. And I really like the trimmings that this WildTrak comes in. I mean, it has this orange stitching. You've got WildTrak badging over there. Over here, you've got a wireless charging pad, which is really quite nice. You've got some storage there. You've got some storage here. Apparently, this is to put your McDonald's fries. I don't know how true this is, but I do know you can put your phone in there as well. You've got these cup holders that you can put your drinks in. You've got obviously your gear lever. This is not the E-shifter that you find in some of the other models, but it is still fine. Obviously, orange stitching over here. You've got your electric handbrake over here, and you've obviously got your drive modes over here, as well as your off-road settings such as your 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. And you've got some more settings over here that you can control. And then lower down here, you've got some storage. I've just put some bits and bobs in there. We've got a 12-volt socket over here. I did forget to mention that over here, you get a USB-A port as well as a USB-C port, which is quite cool. So from a practicality point of view, this car really does have all of the features that you could possibly want. And I'm really quite impressed with it. I mean, these seats as well are really quite nice. They're really comfortable. The driver's side is electrically adjustable, but that's fine. I mean, it's got this WildTrak piping over here. It's got this in the middle of the seat. And did I mention that they are really comfortable? Yeah, this car is, and it's quite spacious too. I mean, I know it's a supercab, but essentially it's meant to be for business usage. So think of it as something like you've got a single cab with more practicality. So this is how you essentially access the rear door. You obviously open your front door, and then there's a lever over here that you use to go open, and it opens quite wide. As you can see, you get a bunch of storage over here. I've recently started playing golf, so moving forward, this will be the new test to see whether my golf bag fits inside the car. But as you can see, it sits very nicely over here. You've got some storage in here, and it's actually quite spacious. It doesn't have seat belts at the back here, which means that obviously you can't actually load passengers in here. That is actually illegal. But I mean, if I were to just climb in here, I mean, it's not a seat, and hence there's not a lot of space, but if you do need to put some stuff over there, you can do so. Now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, it's time to take it for a drive and see how it really drives and how it fares in the urban jungle. So let's go. Under the bonnet of this Ranger WildTrak SuperCab, you get the very familiar 2-liter 4-cylinder bi-turbo diesel. This one produces 154 kilowatts and 500 newton meters of torque. And in this application, it actually feels more than sufficient. Obviously, it's not as heavy as the double cab. It does feel that much more alive, if I can put it that way, and more responsive because it is lighter, but it is mated obviously to this automatic transmission, which is just a peach, honestly speaking. I mean, it does a really great job at shifting up and down the gears, and you really can't hassle it at all because it just goes about its duties so nicely. I'm currently driving about 70 kilometers an hour right now. I mean, it's good, it's good. It obviously, if I, so this 10-speed auto just does a really good job. I do remember when this 10-speed auto first came out in the previous gen a couple of years ago, it got a lot of flack, but I mean, look now, people just love it. And like I mentioned, it responds when you need it to, so you never really feel like it's leaving you wanting for more. But from a drive perspective, it drives really comfortably. those off-road terrain tires, they do add a bit of noise, like some road noise. It's not a deal breaker essentially. And I mean, when you're driving anyway, most of the time, you'll be connected to the car or you're listening to music or listening to the radio. So from that point of view, you really don't even notice that quite a lot. But yeah, I mean, it picks up really quite good. So I think from a power perspective, it really does have more than sufficient power, and it is also just comfortable. I mean, it really is comfortable. It soaks up those road imperfections really, really nicely. So I'm really not mad at it for that. So now that we've spoken about the drive, let's move over to pricing. And this SuperCab starts from, and the WildTrak, mind you, it starts from about 840 odd thousand rand, which I think is honestly actually such a really good price, considering that you're getting a whole lot of car, as much as it's a SuperCab, but you are getting a lot of car for your money. And I did mention all of the technology and features that it does have. So for 840,000 rand, it is quite compelling. And it does find itself going up against the likes of the Isuzu D-Max, the extended cab, the likes of the Toyota Hilux, of course. VW doesn't have the Amarok in a super cab variant. So those are basically some of the players that it's going up against. And I think I can confidently say that it is right at the top of the list of cars that you should consider if you're looking for something of this kind. I do also need to mention that apparently, if you're buying a super cab for your business, then you can save some money from a tax point of view. But hey man, I'm not a financial advisor, so please don't quote me on that. But you can save a bit of bucks, so that's nice to know. But anyway, this car has been quite nice to live with. I really am happy with it. I'm really impressed with it. I think Ford has done amazing stuff to this car. And I think the pricing also just makes a lot of sense. But I'm keen to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So please let me know down in the comments what you guys think of this Ranger SuperCab. Would you buy one of these, or what else would you buy for the same amount of money in the SuperCab side of things? Don't mention double cabs or whatever the case may be, please. So let me know down in the comments. But anyway, guys, we're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and I really, really do want us to get there in a short amount of time. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button. I know a lot of you guys watching my videos aren't actually subscribed, so please quickly take a second to subscribe. Don't forget to like, and also just comment your thoughts. Let me know what you'd like me to review next, and I will definitely do that. But anyway, it's been real, guys. I've enjoyed this car, but I will, of course, catch you guys on the next one. There will be a whole lot of videos coming out, so that's why I really need you guys to subscribe. Please hit that button. Don't forget to hit the bell in case you don't want to forget or to miss any videos that I do upload. But that's it from me and this WildTrak. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers.